everyone, it's Ben here from Mariner Media, and in this video I just want to go over some of the Facebook ad policies and why your ads keep getting banned. I know that a lot of people have come to me and they say, oh, my account's got banned, my ad's banned, I don't know why, I haven't done anything wrong, but sometimes it's things you don't expect. There's sometimes that Facebook will review something and ban your account or ban your ads, and it's something that you don't realize is something they don't allow. So today I'm going to skim over the sort of most common things that people slip up on and the most common rules that people break. I promise try not to send you all to sleep, but if you want to learn a bit more about this, at the top it's facebook.com/policies/ads, and it's really worth at least reviewing once. Like, obviously, as a Facebook agency owner, we review the guidelines regularly because we need to find out what is, if anything, changed, and also to check, if we're running a campaign that's kind of close to the line. So, okay, what is the community standards? How far can we go with this particular creative or this kind of copy? So, first of all, there's kind of three main things that I see people get banned for. So, the first one is adding functionality to the creative. So basically, like when you've got your visuals, if you have a graphic with a play button on it and it doesn't play anything, that's a big one for getting banned, just because Facebook really don't like that. It's kind of misleading. It's in the prohibited content section, but it's something that people don't really realize. Also kind of claims with days and timeframes. So for example, okay, we're going to do this in 7 days, or get fit in 7 days, or stop smoking in 14 days. Something like that. It kind of shows, it looks like Facebook's kind of backing up that claim because obviously you're advertising on Facebook, and Facebook don't want people to buy your product, not get the results, and then suddenly it looks bad on Facebook. So that one is also a big problem. And the other one is basically any kind of, it's like a shocking content, like anything like coming out of the screen or something that's very, very in your face, so if someone's holding a knife, or so there's someone going out the screen, or someone's like reaching, or a video where someone's like, it's kind of disruptive, and Facebook really don't like that. So those are the three things I see a lot. People try and be different and creative, and it ends up just getting banned because those things really don't work very well. So we'll just skim over the all of them and just kind of clarify what they mean. So first one, obviously, illegal products or services. Of course, things like drugs, guns, knives, you can't do that. Obviously, knives is one that Facebook don't allow, but obviously it's not illegal, but something like that is not really great for Facebook. Discriminatory practices. So that would be something that alludes to a certain trait within the ad copy. So, that can be something that, is age, gender, sex, race, but it can also be things like, are you struggling with this, or are you struggling with that? Or it kind of implies negative traits to someone. So, saying gained a few pounds, ? Like that would probably get banned, just because it's like, it's putting a negative, it's something that highlights a negative trait that someone might feel about themselves. So if you say, oh, struggling with dyslexia, ? We've got these courses, to help with dyslexia, that ad would probably be banned, just because it implies they are struggling with that. Or if oh, are you struggling with your weight? Like, it implies via the question that they're struggling. So just be very careful with that, not to suggest that anyone has any traits that they don't like, because it's just a negative experience, and Facebook don't like that. Also, anything that alludes to anything to do with race, religion, age, sex, sexual orientation, family status, all that kind of stuff that's here. So it's really, really important. That's quite a big one, because people think, oh no, it's not, I'm not breaking that rule, but actually some copy that you read it doesn't seem like it, but it will get flagged for that. Tobacco, you can't sell. Drugs, again, obviously drugs you can't sell. Also, prescription drugs, so you can't advertise prescription, even though they're not illegal. Be careful with putting out prescription drugs. Unsafe supplements. So this is a very kind of broad term. So Facebook kind of reserve the right just to decide what tablets or what supplements that it won't allow. And I'd probably stay away from this. It's a really hard one to do on Facebook. If you try and do any kind of supplements, Facebook will just flag it, and 90% of the time they won't allow it. especially if it's like fat loss supplements or fat burning capsules or whatever it is that's kind of the rage. But yeah, be really, really careful with doing supplements. Like apart from it's like a multivitamins or something, should be fine. But any kind of supplements like to gain muscle or to burn fat, quick ways of doing things, face it, really don't like it. So be very careful with that. Weapons, obviously in the US this is a bit more applicable, but obviously in the UK, we would never, that is obviously illegal anyway, so it would come under the other ones. But in the US, be careful with obviously selling weapons, ammunition, explosives, obviously. Adult products or services, so that can be anything, from condoms and even stuff that's like not even toys, like stuff that's just like safety stuff, lubricant and condoms, all that kind of stuff. You can't really do that. Oh, hold on, I might just change slightly. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Yeah. That's my fault. No, actually. So condoms, family planning, all that kind of stuff is fine as long as it's age 18 or older. And yeah, must not focus on sexual pleasure. So it's more like the practical side of things rather than, the pleasure side of things. So obviously toys and that are not okay, but certain things, yes, such as condoms and stuff should be fine. They kind of change their mind all the time as to what is acceptable and what's not. But yeah, and that's kind of another thing as well. That's just kind of discretion, and Facebook will just decide. For a good example, this can be flagged for adult products or services, even when it's not. And again, a good example is the other day I have like an online baking school, and I had someone who had done a course, and they're holding an eclair, and that got flagged for sexual content just because it gets scanned by a machine and it can't tell the difference between an eclair and other things. So sometimes it'll get flagged for that. Sometimes it's the copy. Sometimes it's the creative that has just scanned it in the wrong way. But yeah, just be careful about anything adult wise. Obviously due to this bit here, things like condoms and I think maybe like the pill maybe is not on prescription. So that's something that you could advertise, but just be very careful around that. Facebook, it have to be a very specific ad, and very carefully planned. Adult content, obviously any kind of adult content that is not suitable really for everyone. Third-party infringements, anything copyright, obviously. If you copy people's ads or you're taking content from somewhere to use in ads, or you're posting anything that is from somewhere else, like be very careful with that you've got the copyright and you've actually got the right to use it. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Sensational content, this is what I was talking about earlier. So stuff that's very either shocking, so like car crash, something like that, or someone that's coming at the screen, or someone that's holding a gun, or something that's very I suppose sensational is the best kind of way to put it, or shocking. Something that's just very like, okay, well, in your face, and it's not very nice to look at. So yeah, excessively violent content, any kind of stuff like that. Someone's holding a gun, someone holding a knife, like especially if someone's like holding a knife I saw an example of this before actually. I think if someone was holding a knife to the camera, and like that's never going to get approved. Personal attributes, this kind of comes ties back into what I was talking about earlier. You can't imply that someone has a particular thing that they like or dislike, well, like maybe, but to have a particular thing they dislike. So, alluding to again their race or ethnic origin, or also any like disabilities or problems that they think they might have, or it might make them feel negative. Anything like that, picking out those personal attributes. Also, this is really important because if you say, like hello Christians, that kind of thing, it's kind of weird because people are like, oh my god, they know if you're targeting Christians or people around Christianity and you use that in your copy, it makes them think. Facebook really don't like that because Facebook basically wants to die down this kind of scandal with them using everyone's data. And if they're getting targeted ads that have personal attributes in there, being like, oh, are you a married Christian, ? Or like not a question mark, but or like hello married Christian, or single Christian, like if it's like for a Christian dating app or something, for example, then that would be like, whoa, hold on, how do they know this about me? Like, oh my god, I'm getting ads that are so specific. They know exactly who I am. Like, And it just Facebook doesn't like that at all, because they don't want to be seen to be knowing everything about everyone, even though you can target people like that. They don't like to actually show it and actually let people know that the targeting is that detailed. So yeah, personal attributes, we try and stay away from that, especially financial status, talking about, hello Republicans or whatever, you can't do that. Misinformation, obviously anything that anything that Donald Trump tweets, basically you can't repost, or anything along that kind of lines. Controversial content, so basically making gain or exploiting kind of some kind of controversy or some kind of rivalry, politics, social, all that kind of stuff. Like, just be careful of riding off the back of something that is controversial, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in trouble. It creates too much friction and not a very nice place to be. And Facebook want to create a nice community. Non-functional landing page, really, really important. If you're sending people to a landing page and it's not working, or it's not very good, or it doesn't load very quickly, or Facebook are just going to charge you loads and loads of money for ads, and they either will ban them, or it will just, your cost will be super, super high. You won't get much traffic, and it would really be a waste of time. So non-functional landing pages also a massive thing. Deceitful practices, obviously anything that isn't a scam is obviously deceitful practices, cheating, all that kind of stuff. Anything that is either encouraging something scammy, or also cheating. I think in this case it also means cheating as in relation to a partner as well. So anything that encourages people to cheat, have an affair, anything kind of like that. I haven't looked that deep into this one actually, so I'm not sure whether the cheating means, obviously you wouldn't want to do it either way, but I don't just know whether that's cheating at a certain, a test or something, or whether that's cheating as in the kind of relationship sense. But both things, you shouldn't really be advertising products for either of those. So let's just have that as an umbrella term for both of them. Facebook will shut you down if you mention those kind of things. Bad grammar and punctuation, obviously, just avoid bad grammar anyway, because you're not going to get many clicks if you've got bad punctuation, spelling. People aren't going to click on the ad because they just don't. It's not a good image for the company at all. And also, if you've got, say, a swear word, and you try and use symbols for it, even if it's like a page name or an ad or anything like that, or even on a landing page, Facebook won't allow that, just because it's the intention of doing the swear word, let people know what it means, and you want to try and stay away from that. So if you're using punctuation, numbers, symbols, all that kind of stuff, it's going to have to use in the proper way. Facebook will know if they're loads together, it will know that it's just supposed to be a swear word, and they'll just ban it. Non-existent functionality comes back to what I was talking about earlier with the buttons. If there's a button to click, or if you're trying to, if they can't see the whole image and they're trying to click on it and it doesn't really work, then something that kind of tricks them into clicking on it is not okay. Before and after is also a big thing. So things like gyms and all that kind of stuff, be very careful if you're doing before and after shots, because Facebook don't like that kind of comparison, because again, it kind of gives that kind of guarantee that it looks like Facebook are endorsing that. Payday loans, obviously something that aren't always great for everyone. All that kind of lend money, kind of high return money loans, all that kind of stuff, not great on Facebook. Multi-level marketing, so making sure that you don't do anything that encourages people to get involved with that multi-level marketing, because obviously or like a pyramid scheme, anything like that. Also this is a good point as well, offering quick compensation for little investment. If you say to people, okay, if you just do this is how much I made in this many days, or if you just put in this much, you can get this much out, anything like that in our copy, will just get it banned straight away. Making quick money, Facebook is super tight on that, it just won't allow it through. Penny auctions, pretty self-explanatory. Misleading claims, pretty self-explanatory, so nothing false is misleading. Low quality content, obviously you don't want things that are just yeah, also like, badly, really pixelated pictures, and then things that just don't look great. And just have a quick read through the rest of it. So such an overly sensationalist headlines. Yeah, things like big bold headlines, lots of capitals. Facebook really don't like lots of capitals. So if you're doing a piece of copy and you've got loads of capital words in it, really doesn't like it. It will probably get banned. You probably get away with a couple, so like a couple of threes in capitals or something like that. The main point. But if you do like a whole sentence in capitals, Facebook will be like, nah, banned. Yeah. Also low quality content, so things are just like a couple of words, or you're sending to a page that have just got a few bits on it and there's not much there. People aren't very engaged. It's not a very nice experience. Facebook will check that too. Obviously, you can't send them to malware or something that's going to give them a virus. Automatic animation, audio flash animation, so things that are I think that's for epilepsy reasons, but Adams complain audio or flash animation without person interacting with it spans. Okay, cool. So you can't have flash animation or audio that plays without them actually clicking on it and engaging with the ad. Like that just comes up naturally. Like you have to have it so that they have to click on it first before it starts. Unacceptable business practices. That's obviously a very broad term. Facebook will just decide what that is, and they'll just be like, it kind of leaves them open to be like, no, we don't like that, or we do like this, and just lets them decide what they think is unacceptable. Yeah, systems that obviously help you get around that ad review process, or enforcement systems, anything that gets around the rules basically won't be again Facebook. Primitive financial products and services, anything that's prohibited in the country, of course, you can't advertise. Body parts, I don't think I really need to mention this, but for anyone out there that needs this, you can't sell body parts on Facebook. Even if it's like, not particularly an arm or something, but something that is like eyelashes, or something that is kind of used. I don't know why you'd like self fingernails or something, but anything that's from the body, you don't want to sell, and that includes different things. Yeah, obviously, I'll let you use your imagination with or fluids. Vaccine discouragement. Also, you can't promote anti-vaccine because that's obviously just ridiculous, and also just and dangerous. And Facebook just won't allow you to do anything that promotes people not to get vaccines, because obviously most people it's in their best interest. And I mean that's it really. So there are other restrictions and lots of different things that you have to look through, but obviously you don't want to send you to sleep. So that's the main ones that you need to look out for. It's the main things that are going to get you caught up. But obviously if you go to facebook.com/policies/ads, then in all these sections down the side, you'll be able to see everything, everything in detail, exactly what you can and can't do. And that will really help on the way to not getting your account banned. Because I see a lot of people that just do different ads, and it keeps getting banned, and they don't understand why. And one of these is too many capitals. One of these has got functionality, and it doesn't seem to be something that should be a problem. But it's just against the policy. And once you know what they are, it's easy to avoid. But obviously in the beginning, it's hard to know what you're allowed to do and what you're not. So if you've got any questions, just come straight to here, and you can always have a look at what you're doing. So, okay, so that was obviously all the policies and everything. If you want to find out a little bit more and get in-depth knowledge from start to finish with Facebook, and know how to do the setup and the ads and everything, there's resources just below in the link, and that will take you over to Mariner Media, where you'll be able to join our Clubhouse room. You'll be able to ask questions. You'll also get access to lots of different content, tutorials, all that kind of stuff. So click the link below to find out a bit more and to get a bit more in depth with how to do your setup and everything, and manage ads. And I hope to see you guys on the next video.